welcome back to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. I am Gina Swire, self-love expert, mentor, and manifesting queen. And today I am answering a question that came in through Instagram, which is all about letting go of previous resentments so you can call in true love or more love from a partner in your life. So I'm going to speak to this in the way that I know from my experience and the way I've taught people across the years. And underneath all of this, anytime you work on self-love, all of these things will harmonize. So everything I'm talking about is really self-love. So if you're in this position yourself, I recommend really focusing on your self-love, putting some of these tips into place as well, and attracting your one, or your, I don't really believe in the one, but attracting a one. So thank you for being here. Do not forget to hit subscribe, like, and leave me a comment with anything you want and I will reply to you personally. So I'm going to start with a little story. And so just before the world went crazy in, I think, February of 2019, I was at a place in my life where I was so sick of dating different men. And because I live in partly in LA, partly in Bali, partly in England, partly in the stars, I would tend to meet someone new wherever I went, and I might have some sort of connection, and then I would leave and have another connection. And so I had different connections with different men around the world. And what I realized by attending an event where two of my friends got engaged, and the same day, a friend of mine told me she was like 3 weeks pregnant, like brand new news. And another lady who came on one of my retreats gave birth, and she was wearing the shirt, the t-shirt that I'd given her on the retreat. And she'd sent me pictures like immediately when the baby was born, wearing the t-shirt with this brand new baby, saying that she was thinking of all the things she'd learned about self-love on the retreat. And all these three things happened on the same day. And it made me think that I want those things. And previously I'd thought, yeah, I'm happy being kind of polyamorous. I'm happy traveling the world and having all these different connections and being completely free. And on that day, I realized that underneath it all, what I really wanted is one partner who travels the world with me, that I can have a family with and all these things. So previously, I hadn't given myself permission to want those things because I didn't obviously think I could have them. So once I'd realized this, I went on a rampage of clearing. And so if you want to call in love, I recommend a massive clearing. In fact, if you want to call in anything, clearing the space is the best way to go. So what I mean by this is you will want to clear physical objects. So anything that attaches you to past love or past relationships or past trauma or past anything. So in my house, I had love notes from men. I had things around that people had bought me. I had even like photographs from holidays I'd been on with other people. And again, in my phone, I had memories, all these photos, videos, WhatsApp conversations, Facebook Messenger conversations from all these different people. And all of this is just creating more barriers to what I truly wanted. So I went on a massive rampage and started to clear, cleanse. And sometimes it was like, oh my God, I don't want to get rid of this conversation because, there's something in it that I might want to refer to, or maybe it makes me feel good to think back to that good time. But every single time I thought to myself, this is taking me one step closer to what I truly want. And I also got a download that I should burn all of my journals. So for years and years and years, probably since I was about 15, I used to write in notebooks all the time, manifestation things, stories, all kinds of things calling in my one. And when I flicked back through them in every single journal, it was like I was on a loop. And so one day I decided to burn them all. And it was so like, oh my God, am I really going to do this? Maybe I'm going to make them into a book one day. No one's ever going to make your journals into a book one day. Burn them, get rid, create space, create new space for this person to come in. So you get the drift. I was very ruthless. It was so freeing, so good to do. Highly recommend it. And another thing you can do is, if you are holding resentment, is you can write down everything you never said to that person and write it all down in a letter, really let rip, and then literally stomp it, screw it up, burn it, get rid of it. And this is also going to create space. Another tip is that you can do a cord cutting. So I'm going to put a link in the comments to a couple of different cord cuttings. But if you type into YouTube cord cutting, I've literally listened to them all. They're so good. All different people talking about cord cutting. And I actually did this with the person or people that I was ready to transmute that relationship. So I had probably 10 difficult conversations with different men of varying degrees of involvement in my life, and thanked them, told them what my vision was, said, I do not see that this is in alignment to my vision right now. Doesn't mean it wouldn't be in the future, but this is where I'm going. This is what I want. This is who I am. This is it. And this also gives them permission to rise. So it's very empowering, even though it can be a bit like, ooh. So then I did a cord cutting with them, and I was just very clear, this is what I'm doing. That's it. So a big part of holding resentment for somebody in your past is not only forgiving them. So you don't have to forgive the act of whatever it is. Maybe someone's cheated on you. That happened to me. Maybe someone's betrayed you. That also happened to me. Maybe, someone broke up with you when you didn't expect it, or, they hurt you. So you do not have to forgive the act. We just have to, we don't have to, but it's really, really good to just forgive the situation, and also know that rejection is redirection, and anything that is redirecting you is guiding you on your path. So the big part here is, what most people forget is that we need to forgive ourselves, because at some point we thought that was the way, and maybe there was some red flags that we turned to green, or maybe we missed all the signals, maybe we did something we shouldn't have done. But ultimately, we must go back and say, I was doing my best with the tools that I had, and I forgive myself. So this can be the hardest part of releasing resentment. One really good question that I was asking myself all the time was, in an absolute ideal world, what would I want for my life? And when I write this, or when I ask a client or a group this, they're often like, oh yeah, either I don't know or don't have a full vision. So check in with yourself and make sure that you have a full vision of what you truly want in an ideal world. So I'm not talking about hair color, eye color, all this kind of thing. I'm talking about, how do you want to feel with the partner you're attracting, and how do you want them to feel? And also, like, really embodying that feeling now. So when I did all this clearing work, I literally was living my life like I already knew this man. And in some ways, this is like a marrying of the inner masculine. So I fell in love with my inner masculine. And so I was literally waking up in the morning and thinking, I was feeling this presence of a man with me, when I was cooking, I was thinking, oh yeah, he's really gonna like this food. He's gonna love that I'm an amazing cook. When I went round to my nana's house, I was thinking, I'm going to introduce him to my nana and they're going to have this conversation. And then I was thinking about making love with him and like self-pleasuring and thinking of this person and thinking what he would say and all of these things. And that one especially is sex magic. So when you are manifesting what you really want whilst being in orgasmic bliss, you're actually creating sex magic, and that's really good for manifestation. So definitely check that one out. And so using all these things, I very quickly after this called in my now one. And it's really interesting because the things that I was imagining him saying to me is what he says to me now. So it really does work. It's super powerful. And that is all because of the journey and the process to releasing the resentment, forgiving myself, cutting out anything that doesn't serve. And anytime, this is probably the biggest takeaway of this video, anytime you're settling for something not so great or good, not great, you are telling the universe that you're available for more of that. So if you're having a romantic connection with someone that you know is not forever, you will be telling the universe, give me more of this, just average thing that's good. So you have to give up the good to get the great, in my opinion. And when you do, that's when you can really call in this soul love. So I highly recommend it. Let me know how it goes. Many of my clients have called in their one and met amazing people at this high level of self-love. So thank you so much for watching today. If you have any comments, post them there. I will come to them personally. And don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and leave me a comment.